Hello, friends. For guided reading this week, we are going to read The Day Before Thanksgiving. And what I would like you to do, if you have not already, and you can pause this recording at any time, but please go to reading age and pull up this assigned book, The Day Before Thanksgiving. We are going to be reading this story this week. So let's take a look at the book. Now, while you're getting organized, let me ask, what do you know about Thanksgiving? What happens on that day? What is the weather like in November? Well, in some places there can be a lot of snow at this time of year. Do you think there might be some problems if there's a big snowstorm? All right, at this time you should have your book, and if not, please pause and get that so we can get started. This is The Day Before Thanksgiving. It's illustrated by David Cockcroft. Let's look at the front and back pages. What do you notice? What do you wonder? What kind of book do you think it is? Is it fiction or nonfiction? So some vocabulary words to think about. Letter, snowstorm, deep, tired, lost, overnight, truck, Thanksgiving feast. So say those after me. Letter, snowstorm, deep, tired, lost, overnight, truck, Thanksgiving feast. So what do you think might happen in the story based on these words and from the illustrations and the title of the book? When I look at a new book, I look at the cover information first and ask myself what kind of book I think it is. Is it a story or a factual book? If I recognize the characters, I think about what might happen to them based on what I already know about them. Then I preview the illustrations to help me either revise my first predictions or make new ones. As I read, I continue to revise or confirm my predictions as I go. This helps me be an active reader, and I enjoy the story more and understand it better. So please go ahead and preview the illustrations in the book to see whether you think your story predictions from the vocabulary words are correct. And think about any new predictions you might have. So go from beginning to end, just look at the illustrations. You can pause. All right, and as you read, use these reading strategies. Make predictions, ask and answer questions as you go. Take your time and think about cause and effect relationships. A cause is an event that makes something else happen, and an effect is what happens because of that event. So I fall down. So I fall down. I know that there are reasons or causes for events to happen. When I fall down, it might be because the ground was wet and I slipped. So a cause for falling down might be because the ground was slippery and wet. However, I could have fallen down for other reasons too. Maybe I was running and I wasn't paying attention to the fact that the ground was slippery. There could be more than one cause for an effect. So what are other possible causes for falling down? So I fell down. Why? Was it because it was slippery? I was running and not paying attention? There was ice? I was pushed? So why don't you practice telling me a cause and effect of falling down? So I fell down was the effect. Tell me a cause. Why did I fall down? You will be identifying causes and effects of events while reading the story. And like we talked about, there's some vocabulary in this book that you may or may not be familiar with. And if you are not sure of how to say a word, or you can say the word but you don't know what it means, use the visual cues or illustrations to help you understand those words. So look at the pictures and use that. And use word attack strategies to help you read. So on page 14, there's a word, overnight. How might you figure out the meaning of this word if you don't know it? Well, it's a compound word, so you can find two smaller words that make up that compound word. So use the smaller words as clues to the meaning of the bigger word. So overnight, we can break that into two pieces, over and night. Over, meaning, and night, meaning. So we put them together, overnight means. All right, now go ahead and read the book and see if your predictions about the story are correct. And remember that you can always revise if you need to. So I'd like you to go ahead and read to the end of page 6. Pause here until you get there. So far, what were your predictions? Did they come true? Before I started reading, I made a prediction about how the snowstorm fit into the story. I thought the Hoppers would not have to go to school because of the snowstorm. On page 6, I see that my prediction was not correct because they're getting ready for school. So I can change that prediction as I read. So what do you think will happen because of the snowstorm? Have your predictions changed already? What do you think is the effect of the Hoppers receiving the letter? What causes the Hoppers to put on hats and mittens? How does this show two causes and effects? All right, you can go ahead and read the rest of the book. And remember, revise, revise, revise. It's okay to change your predictions. So, did your predictions about the story were true? How did making predictions help you read the story? Some of my predictions were correct. For example, the illustrations on page 13 and 14 helped me to predict that someone would rescue the Hoppers from the snow and take them to safety in a snowplow. I did not predict that the rescuer was Grandpa Grizzly. Making predictions about the book before I read helped me to understand the events in the story, and checking my prediction as I read helped me to understand the story even more. So why don't you write on a piece of paper one prediction that you made that was correct, and write one prediction that changed as you read the story. So one that was correct and one that changed. Go ahead and write those down now. And let's talk a bit more about cause and effect. So remember, a cause is an event that makes something happen, and the effect is what happens because of that. So go back to page 9. Let's read page 9. After lunch, the Hoppers ran out of the school to find their sled, but the snow had become so deep that they couldn't find it. "Our sled is buried!" cried Fluffy Tail. "We'll have to walk home," said Speedy Legs. The four Hoppers walked bravely through the snowstorm. What caused the Hoppers to walk home? The sled being stuck. So, walking home is the effect from the cause of the sled being stuck. What are other examples of cause and effect in the story? All right, friends. What problems did the Hoppers face in the story, and how did they solve the problems? When we are presented with a problem, we need to brainstorm ideas and find solutions. Write a description of a problem you have faced and the solution you found to the problem. What are important steps to take in problem solving? This is your guided reading lesson for Wednesday. Tomorrow, which is Thursday, I would like you to come back on Reading A to Z and listen to the story being read to you. On Friday, I would like you to read the story to someone, to a friend, mom or dad, me, your learning guide. On Monday, I would like you to read it all by yourself. And on Tuesday, I would like you to take the comprehension quiz on Reading A to Z. And I will have that schedule posted for you to remind you. All right, friends, have fun!